Welcome back to Real Girl Talk Podcast Radio. I am your host, Sherry Ricard. I'm bringing you weekly interviews with fascinating guests, with action-packed episodes, highly relatable stories that help women reboot, regroup, and reinvent themselves in family, community, lifestyle, and business. And of course, always committed to keeping it real. Now let's dive in.
The loss of a loved one is a nearly universal emotional crisis. Unprocessed grief and painful feelings can be buried, leaving you to feel numb. But there is hope. Certified grief counselor, RN, and author Sherry Ricard shares her story of how to cope in her first book, Wake Up Call, A Mother's Grief Journey, after the loss of her 17-year-old son. This book, along with Sherry's other books, are available on Amazon as well as on sherryricard.com.
Welcome back to Real Girl Talk Podcast Radio. Thank you so much for joining me today. I truly appreciate all of my loyal listeners, and I hope everybody's doing beautifully on this gorgeous day. What I want to do right now is I want to walk you through 8 simple steps, not easy steps, but simple steps. 8-step system for achieving your goals. I know a lot of people don't have the opportunity to do their vision board, although I highly recommend your vision board in conjunction with writing down your goals. And remember, I know everyone has a lot of dreams, but when you have dreams with action plans, they become goals of reality. So we're going to start with our number one step for achieving our goals is write down every single thing that you want. Now, what I want you to do is set the timer on your phone for 7 minutes and just start writing every single thing that you want. Not how you can get it, but just everything that you want. And I'll give you some examples. It could be fitness goals. You may want to weigh 140 pounds or run a 5K, run in the Boston Marathon, join a gym, hire a trainer, be a certain size. Whatever you want in that fitness goal is yours. Write that down. You could have a financial goal. Maybe it's to save $10,000. Pay off your credit card debt, pay off your school loans, drive a debt-free car, start investing $500 a month in some type of investment or stocks. Whatever your financial goals are, I want you to write those down. It could be a personal or family goals, like you want to travel to Paris. Oh, I know that I do. Tokyo, LA, London. The point is just dream. Just dream of your personal and family goals and write those down. Get all those goals, dreams, and desires in your head and just put them on paper. Just dump it all out. Every single thing that you can think of. What are some things that you want to accomplish? Write it down. How do you want to grow yourself this year? Write it down. Think about your relationships. Who are the most important people in your life? Do you want to plan trips with them? Do you want to have get-togethers with them? What about your business or your career? Do you want to launch a new product? How about writing a book? I have a course for that teaches you how to write a book from start to finish and doing your cover to your book, how to market your book. And I can show you how to do all of that for free through my paid course. Don't edit your list just yet. Okay, because we're going to go to step 2. Step 2 in the system for achieving your goals is put a number 1 or a number 5 next to each goal. In other words, this shows whether it's a 1-year goal or a 5-year goal. Go through this long random list of dreams that you created in step 1 and number them according to the time that it may take to achieve that goal. Somebody said people often overestimate what they can achieve in 1 year, but vastly underestimate what they can achieve in 5 years. It's important to set goals for both. Moving on to step 3 in achieving your goals. Step 3 is narrow down your 10 most important 1-year goals. As you look at your list, which ones motivate you the most? So one of my favorites is Marie Forleo. If you guys don't follow her, you need to follow her. She's so motivating. She calls this the prune. This is so important. You don't want to take on too much and not make any progress. So you actually want to condense. What is the most important of that 1-year goals that you just listed? All right. You don't want to take on too much, guys. Research supports staying between 7 to 10 goals for 1 year. And remember, we just wrote a big dump of list on paper. All of your dreams you just wrote down on a list. So I know that you're sitting there thinking, gosh, I can't think of everything. But then when you start writing, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So what you want to do is you want to condense your goals down between 7 to 10 goals for 1 year. Focus on a few critical things. What will give you the best results? In other words, what is the reward for making this goal happen? More importantly, who will you have to become to make this goal a reality? What will you have to do and who will you have to become to make these goals a reality? Any goal that stretches you and demands that you grow is actually a good thing. This is a good goal. Let me give you an example. Paying off your credit card debt of, say, $16,000 and saving emergency money of $1,000 are incredible goals to achieve, right? That's $17,000 that you're going to need to come up with in the next 12 months. But if you accomplish those two goals, you would be setting yourself up for great success. I hope that makes sense to you guys, because we're going to move on to step number 4. And hey, listen, if you're driving in your car right now, or you're on a brisk walk, or you're in the gym, replay this when you're sitting somewhere cozy on your sofa with your journal or your notebook and your pen, because you really want to write all of these steps down so you can go back to your office, back to the sofa, and actually write those down. Moving on to step 4 of achieving your goals. Get SMART goals. So what are SMART goals? They mean specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, timeline. That's what a SMART goal is. So what is specific? Clarity is power when you get very specific on your goals. Don't just say save money. All right, I want to save money. That is not a SMART goal. That is not a specific goal. You say, I want to save $3,000 by December 31st, 2020. That's a SMART goal, because we were very specific on saving money to the point of we knew exactly what we wanted to save. You also want to move to a measurable goal. That's a SMART goal. What gets measured actually gets done. And we'll talk about that in a little later. Attainable. If it's not totally unrealistic, then your brain checks out. Does that make sense? It needs to be 50% probability that you can do it. If it's totally unrealistic, then your brain checks out, because we'll write down a dream that we think is completely unrealistic. So I'm not saying that no one can be president of the United States, but the odds are, if you're 50 years old right now and you're working towards being a president, and right now you're working in the clerk of court's office as a secretary, what is the probability? Is it realistic that you'll be the president of the United States? You follow me? So it needs to be about 50% probability that you can actually do it. That is an attainable goal, and that's considered a SMART goal. So realistic. If your goals are unrealistic, you're going to feel like a failure. If you've never saved money and you've lived paycheck to paycheck, don't set a goal to save $50,000 this year. And I know that makes sense to you guys. Timeline is also a SMART goal. Deadlines deserves and serves as a driving force. So it deserves your attention and it serves as a driving force. That motivates us. Deadlines. Again, I've told you time and time again when we've talked about confidence, esteem, setting goals, and your vision boards. If you have a dream without a timeline, it stays a dream. With a timeline and action behind it, it becomes a goal. There's somebody else that I really love, and if you don't follow her, her name is Lisa Nichols, and she says, action is the prescription for that success that you say that you want. So if God's dealing with you about learning success habits this year, take action. One way to do that is to seek advice and maybe some coaching or a mentorship from someone who already has had experience in the area that you want to grow. So if you're someone that wants to write a book, you want to have a mentor or a coach that has already succeeded. If you want to open your own boutique, you want a mentor of someone that has already succeeded and is successful in owning a boutique. So I know that makes sense. We're going to move on to number 5 of the 8 steps in achieving your goals. And number 5 is to write your goals as if they are already attained. Remember, only 3% of adults even have written goals down. And this 3% are the most successful people in the world. Just writing your goals automatically gives you a 44% greater chance of achieving them. When you write your goals, it gets programmed in your subconscious mind, and you go to work on it immediately until it's achieved. Write them in the present tense. I'm going to give you an example. I have easily saved $10,000 by December 31st. That's $833 a month. Is that obtainable? With your income and the bills that you have right now, is that obtainable? If it is, then it's part of having a SMART goal. But you want to write those as if you've already attained. In other words, if you want to lose weight, you want to say, I have lost 40 pounds by December 31st. That's a goal set, but you're writing it as if you've already achieved it. Number 6, this is huge for me. Know your why. I can't emphasize enough the why power. It is the most important thing that you can have, and it is stronger than willpower, is your why power. This is your reason behind setting a goal in the first place. What do you need to do to have that $10,000 we talked about saving? What do you need to do? For what purpose do you need the $10,000? That is your why. Think about that. Write it out. Is it for peace of mind, that you're going to be okay if anything were to happen, if you had this money in savings? Is it to have in case of an emergency? You need emergency money for unexpected expenses? Is it to fund your dream vacation? Is it to fund your business idea that could actually change your entire life? That is your why. Maybe your why is that it's just to support your kids. Maybe your why is because your child is starting college this year in the fall and you need that money. So if you focus on your why, it is stronger than your will. Don't set surface goals. They don't drive you to achieve them. Okay? Your why has to be more important than your what. If you're clear on that reason, you will be willing to pay the price of getting that goal done. You'll work longer hours. You'll take extra jobs. You'll look for opportunities to make more money. When you have your why, this is the way that you are going to persevere on and get everything done that you need to do to keep those goals aligned. Really quick, I want you to think about people who struggle with their weight. Until they get divorced and they're single again. Suddenly, they lose 30 pounds. Why? They want to get married again. They want to find a spouse. They got the why power keeping them focused. Next, this is something I have learned and I have just started doing, and I want to share it with you guys, and it's number 7. Want you to write down 20 action steps you can take to achieve those goals. You may think, Sherry, seriously, 20? Seriously, 20. I didn't say this was going to be easy. I just want you to give it a shot. And remember, anything at all takes effort. If it doesn't take much effort, it's probably not worth doing. And that goes for anything in your life. I tell my kids that all the time. Trust me, you'll get very creative when you're making your 20 action steps. Your list may say, how are you going to achieve your goals? An example would be pay off your credit card debt of $16,000. Okay, so what are you going to do to take action? You need 20 steps to take action on that one goal. You may have a garage sale. You may sell your old iPhones because Lord knows we have plenty of those in the drawer. Sell clothes on Poshmark. I have plenty of friends that do that. You may get an extra job. You may do a side business. You possibly could do some tutoring. You could write a book. You could have speaking events. You could partner with Amazon and create an affiliate and make money off of things that are sold through that particular link. You can sell things that are collecting dust on Marketplace on Facebook. Are you a baker? I know my daughter has a side business where she makes cakes, and she's busy every weekend making cupcakes, cake pops, and cakes for multiple events. And that's how she brings extra money. That's part of her action step to achieving one of her financial goals. Okay, so I just gave you 9 actions to saving money. You still have 11 to go. So you have to write all 20, because the first 4 or 5 are going to come easy to you. But when you get to your ideas of 6, 7, 8, 9, you're going to start pushing your mind to really be creative on how to achieve that goal of the example I gave of paying off your credit card debt of, say, $16,000. Then I want you to select ideas that you're going to take action on immediately. Put them on your calendar. Turn it into a to-do list. Remember, these action steps to achieving your goals, they're like miniature goals. So you're going to have one goal and 20 actions to achieving. Your second goal, 20 actions to achieving. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, send me an email, info@sherryricard.com, and I will answer you. The last step to achieving your goals in this system is track your goals every month to see if you're on target. I like to document exactly where I am on the first day of every month. If it's February 1st, which just passed, and I had nothing that happened in that particular area of that goal, I'm going to write that down. Nothing happened. I achieved nothing. If it's a financial goal of saving $10,000, then write February 1st. Saved $700. March 1st, saved a total of $1,300. Track it every single month to see your progress and to push yourself to go harder. So we're going to kind of recap because we went through a lot, guys. So these are your 8-step system for achieving your goals. Write down everything you want to begin with. That was number 1. Number 2, you're going to put a number 1 or a number 5 next to the goal, and that means 1-year goal, or is it a 5-year goal? Number 3 was narrow down your 10 most important 1-year goals, because I don't want you to become overwhelmed. Then I want you to make sure when you're doing that you're setting SMART goals. Your SMART goals are be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and put a timeline to them. The 5th step was write down your goals as if they are already attained. Number 6, know your why. It's stronger than your will. Number 7, write down 20 action steps that you can take to achieve the goals that you previously wrote. And number 8, track your goals every month to make sure that you're on target. Guys, I'm just trying to really help you set yourself forward in focus for 2020. I am a huge goal setter, and as I achieve goals, I mark them off and it brings me joy. I highlight goals that I want to achieve in year 1, and I leave the other goals on the paper. And the next year, I highlight my goals, my top 10 goals for that particular year, and I move the rest of my goals to my next year on paper. And I also set up my vision board. So I'm going to have 5-year goals and 1-year goals on my vision board. all over my vision board, and I do a new board at the beginning of every single year that can be phrases, words, or images. And if you're not sure how to strategically do a vision board, because it is a little strategic to do it, it's not just cutting out pictures and words, plastering them on a cork board or a poster board. You can go back to the first episode of 2020 and I walk you through every step on how to create a vision board. And stay tuned, guys, because my new journal, which is a 30-day journal to get you on track, is actually going to be launched at the end of February if all goes well. So make sure you go back to sherryricard.com and subscribe to the mailing list so you'll know when that journal comes out. And I hope that too will help you stay focused and stay on track and achieving your goals for this year. And again, thank you so much for listening to me today. I want you to go out there, keep your faith in God, step out of your comfort zone and do something that you've never done before, and set a timeline on getting your goals written down so you can start to achieve them. And December 31st, look back at everything that you've accomplished. Until next week, have a blessed week.